Alright, hey y'all, this is your test intro and review video. Since I'm not there today, you guys are just testing. There will not be a free scan, but I'll curve grades based on A-Day's scores, and I'll allow you to come in to tutoring to fix your first attempt. If you make an appointment to do that, then I'll honor your commitment as well. You can write on your test. Do make sure you put the test version on there, and when you finish, just turn it in to the alphabetizer and make sure you staple your answer sheet to the front. While this video is playing, you can have your answer sheet, and you can write stuff from this video or from your notes onto your answer sheet to use on the test. Also, on the board to the right, there are formulas: the slope-intercept, point slope, parallel and perpendicular slope, as well as the normal slope equation. And on the front board, you have the four theorems that we're going to use with transversals. So let's get going. Here's the beginning of the video. Over here, you'll see the stuff that's on the board. There should be an underline right here. So just to highlight these, with slope-intercept form, the only things you're going to be changing here, you need the slope and you need the y-intercept. On point slope, you need the y, you need the m, and you need the x here. So when you use these two equations, those are the only things you need. Parallel slope stays the same. When you do perpendicular, it's the negative reciprocal. So you flip the sign and you flip the fraction. So for instance, something like negative 1/2. The negative reciprocal of this, you change the sign from negative to positive, and then you flip it, it becomes 2/1. Which would just be 2. So that's negative reciprocal. Let's look over here at the angle transversals. So this is on the board as well. So I'm just going to run through an example of this real quick. Two pairs of alternate interior angles. Interior, so here are the walls. These parallel lines are the walls. These two lines are the walls. Interior means you're inside the walls, so that's 2, 6, 3, and 7. Alternate means they're across from each other. So you can say 2 and 3 are alternate interior angles. I'm sorry, not 2 and 3. 2 and 7 are alternate interior angles, as well as 6 and 3 are alternate interior angles. When you get to alternate exterior, now we're looking on the outside of these walls. So 4 and 5 are alternate exterior angles. You figure out the other one. When you do consecutive interior, consecutive interior means you're inside the walls and you're right next to each other. So that's 6 and 7 are consecutive interior. 2 and 3 are also. Corresponding angles, they're in the same place. So remember, if we think about this side as Lamar, and if we think about this cluster over here, let's say that's Arlington High. The first two schools. When you're corresponding, over here, the top right number at Lamar is 2. And then at Arlington, the top right number is 4. So those are corresponding angles. Each number at Lamar has a corresponding number to Arlington. Lastly, vertical angles are across from each other. So this is in the same school for vertical angles. So 1 and 6 are vertical angles. Many more combinations. At Arlington High, 4 and 7 are vertical angles because they're right across from each other. Vertical angles are congruent. And the rest of the rules up here are on the front board directly to the right of this screen. over there. Okay, so that is the first section that I'm reviewing, which is the angle transversals. The quadrants. Quadrants are 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you're looking for a line that goes across, you just have to figure out which line the line can cross whatever number of these. Okay, so if I had a line that was like this, so this line would cross 1, 2, and 3. If we did a different one, this line would cross 1 and 4. That's just what they're doing. Okay, so those are the quadrants. The important part for this is just that you know what numbers these are. Start at the positive x, it goes counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Let's talk about parallel and perpendicular equations real quick. So the equation of the line that goes through 5, 7 and is perpendicular to x equals 2. Well, x equals 2 is a straight line like this. That's not a straight line. X equals 2 is a straight line. So let's say this is x equals 2. X equals 2. And then we need to go to 5, 7. So let's say 5, so this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you go up a little bit. Let's just say this is 5, 7 here. We need to construct a line that's perpendicular to this line and goes through this point. So the way we do that, it's going to go through here. It'll look like that. Now this line is y equals, because it's horizontal, the slope is 0. This slope, the y-intercept, the y value, can't be 5 because that's x, but 7 is y. So y equals 7 is the answer to this one. If we were looking for the parallel line to this, the parallel line to this would have been this line, which would be x equals 5. That would be the parallel line. Perpendicular line is y equals 7. I'll write that down just for your reference. Parallel, x equals 5, because that's what x is. Okay, for writing these equations, try to keep this simple. Here's what you start off with. The point slope equation, it's y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. This is the equation you can use for any of them. It just says write an equation, doesn't specify which one, so you can just use this equation. This one's parallel. Parallel means you do not change the slope. So there's your m, there's your x, there's your y. So my equation for this one, it's going to be y stays the same, y1 is 1 equals, the slope is 2/3, x minus x1 is 3. That's the answer to number 21 right there. That's it. You can stop there. If you want to get it into slope-intercept form, you can, but this is also an acceptable form. Okay, so don't overcomplicate that one. Last one I'll do in here. Now we're doing perpendicular. So perpendicular is where you have an extra step. So with perpendicular, you have this slope here, which is -3. As a fraction, that's -3/1, which, if you take the negative reciprocal, that becomes positive 1/3. So let's do the same thing here. I'm going to put my answer to this over here. Well, you get the idea. It's going to be y minus, here's x, here's y, here's m perpendicular. Okay, so y is -1 equals, your m is +1/3 times x minus 3. Where did my mouse go? There it is. Very similar to the other one. So the last thing to do in here, negative and negative make a positive, so you have as your answer y plus 1 equals 1/3 x minus 3. I don't have my drawing pad here, so I couldn't do this as nicely, but you get the idea. So number 22, here's the answer. So that's about it. I have a little bit of time left on this video, so there's one more thing I want to show you. When we're talking about slopes, one way to remember the different kinds of slope is slope guy, if you remember that. So slope guy is angry. Here's his nose and the mouth. When you have slope guy, it's negative here, positive here, undefined, and 0. Negative line goes down, positive line goes up, undefined is straight up and down, 0 slope is left and right. You probably already knew these two, but I just want to re-emphasize the undefined and 0. This is how you remember that. If you need to draw Mr. Slope on your page, do so. Alright, so there's your intro video. I want you guys to have at least an hour for this test. So you can watch this video again, or you can just replay certain parts so you can make sure you have stuff written down. Other than that, good luck.